Hey there, welcome back. So I'm starting this video with the most sincere apology and saying I was wrong, 1,000% wrong. I first read The Shining. Um, I don't know how many years ago, 2010 maybe ish, back in high school for a high school book report. And The Shining turned me off reading for like 5 years, maybe longer. I hated this book. I despised everything about it. I despised the writing. I despised the pacing. I despised the characters. I despised how slow it was. I despised the plot. There was nothing about this book that I liked. I have no idea how I finished it. I have no idea how I wrote a book report on it. And I was angry at my friend for recommending The Shining because he knew I loved horror movies. And I needed a book to read back in high school, and I didn't read very much in high school. High school Jessica was an idiot. She was wrong. I don't know what was wrong with her. Terrible judge of characters. Did not understand what a good character was. Did not understand what good writing was. Did not understand what... Okay, probably understood pacing because I maintain this is a very interesting for pacing and slow. But okay, this is a fantastic book. I'm sorry. Like this, I put this book on my just not for me books everyone loves that I hate list. And again, I was wrong. This isn't a full 5 stars. I'm still only giving it a 4, but the depth of character work in The Shining is incredible. I will maintain my original opinion about the movie not being for me. I did not like the characters. I did not like the plot of it. Did not enjoy the movie. I get that's not a popular opinion. I get people think it's a masterpiece. I get people love the acting. I don't understand it. But the book itself, Jack is the most, I don't know, character that I have read in a long time. The depth and core of his personality, the exploration of alcoholism, his dreams starting as like a young writer, working his way up, getting a little bit of a break, doing good in his career and having everything crashed in around him, the depth that he loves his family and his son, and then seeing everything be corrupted and by this hotel, by alcoholism, by everything in the circumstances of his past with his own father. Such a well-written, fantastic character with so much depth to them. And then you have his son. Oh my God. I maintain there is a scene in this book, and I wish I had a physical copy of the book. I did ebook and audiobook. I should have went to the bookstore and just seen how many pages this actually takes. The reason that I stopped reading for about 5 years was because of a scene with a fire extinguisher. Danny sees the fire extinguisher on the wall, reminds him of a snake. I know what the word emergency, he knows how to spell the word emergency, or recognizes it, and thinks a snake, and goes on and says it's attacking him, and go run down the hall. And I swear to God, it feels like an entire lifetime in this one scene as it drags, and not for me. So that taking away that one instant with Danny's character, the son, he is a very well-written child. And he did not annoy me entirely, which is very rare, because well-written characters who are children normally annoy me. He has the power, obviously, to more or less read minds, see the future kind of thing. He shines. But he doesn't understand everything he's seeing. A good motivation for him wanting to read more is to understand the signs, like actual written signs that he's seeing in these visions, the ones Tony are showing him. And I love that he has all this information, but he doesn't understand the context of it. He doesn't understand innuendos that adults are thinking around him. He doesn't understand the writing. Because he's young, he's a kid. But he understands the concept of divorce. He knows the idea that's a bad thing, even though he doesn't understand the full scope of it. He is just an insanely well-written character. Wendy, while not the main focus, the mother, she still has a lot of depth to her, and her history with her own mother, her sister, the fear of not being good enough, and wanting to protect her child, that being her main priority, but not wanting to give up on her marriage, but willing to, if that is what it took. I love how she just believes her son. I love the conversations that she had with the doctor, psychiatrist, buddy, whatever. These are just fantastic characters. I maintained from my little rant at the beginning that this book is overwritten. I do not think it is a good place to give, like high school me, for an introduction to Stephen King. If you connect with these characters, you are going to love it because you spend so much time with it, in their minds, in the depths of who they are, just doing mundane day-to-day things. At the Overlook, going through the towns, interacting with the family. And if you connect with them, it is great, it is entertaining, you're invested. High school me was not invested in these characters, so everything dragged, everything was slow. I hated every minute of this plot because I did not connect to the characters at the time. Second reread here, I loved these characters. I wanted more, but I still took note that the plot was very, very slow. So I think Pet Sematary will always be my, hey, this might not be everyone's absolute favorite Stephen King, it might be, but it is probably the one that I recommend in terms of I've heard less people have issue with the pacing and how the plot progresses. This one here, I would probably recommend once you got a couple Stephen King under your belt and you know what you're getting in for. That's, again, some people will give it 5 stars the first time they read it. I was not one of those people. And it might have just been my expectations of young me liking horror movies and thinking this would be a more suspenseful, intense, action-packed kind of read, which it's not. Suspenseful, yeah, it had its moments, but nothing that I was really gripped with, because while things started off fast suspense, again, I felt it was overwritten, overstayed its welcome, and I'm just like, can we just move on? I'm not anxious wanting to get out of this. I'm anxious that I have 5 more pages left to read before we move on to something else. The ending of this book was great. I know Stephen King is kind of known for his lackluster endings. This is not one of them. Love the ending. Loved how everything played out. Love these characters. 4 stars. Stephen King bingo sheet on screen now. And I guess the last thing I gotta say is, what's the next book? Rage is technically the next book in reading Stephen King in publication order. I could find this online. I know I could. But I don't think I'm going to be reading this. It is a book that is no longer in publication. Stephen King himself has been like, take it out of publication, we're done with this. It has been connected, is probably the wrong word, with a bunch of school shootings, in terms of the shooter had a copy of this book and people were a little bit outraged by it. The context of the book involves a school shooter who is, in the end, it appears to be more glorified and recognized by his classmates. I'm sure there's other stuff going on. We are going to calmly jump over this one and move into The Stand. I will be reading that one next. Maybe I will return to Rage once I read a little bit more Stephen King, but honestly, it does not seem like something that I will enjoy, and I don't think I'm going to read it. So that's all I got for today. See ya. Bye.